Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to share today about some things that have happened in the past and something that happened very recently that is actually very common here, and just give you a glimpse of what sometimes happens here, specifically in Davao. Can happen in a third world country, just things that we don't have control over, and just some of the thoughts that it has given me. So the first one, this happened to us 3 years ago now. 3 years ago, actually very close to this time, like maybe a few weeks from when it is now, like we lived in a different place, lived in an apartment complex, and that apartment complex had a gate, and all the apartments shared this gate, and then we all had our little individual gates, but if you wanted to get over our little individual gates, it would have been no big deal, super easy. And what happened at our apartment complex is our house was broken into in the middle of the night while we were there. We were asleep. It was actually soon after we had all gotten back from the ISAC tournament. So we had been gone, and so I don't know like when it happened, if the people still thought we were gone or if they just wanted us to leave or whatever. But anyways, 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, that our apartment was broken into. And what reminded me of it today was I was watching somebody else's vlog on YouTube, and they had talked about how they had heard these noises on their security camera and thought somebody was breaking into their house and called the police, and the police came, and it was the noise that their camera was picking up, like nobody had broken into their house. But it reminded me that there are people in this world that they might be able to go all their life without their house being broken into or their car being broken into, and that's not the case for everybody though. A lot of the missionaries here have had their house broken into or their car broken into. Like, somebody said, after the fact, they're like, now that that's happened, you're a real missionary, because that's happened to all of us. And it's like, wow, it's happened to all of you. And so they have just this understanding of, when you're going through it, like how it feels and what you're thinking, and it just messed me up at night, and I was to the point where I couldn't sleep, and I was like, Daniel, we just need to move as soon as we can, because one, we don't have control over whether that big gate is locked or not, and we barricaded the door for the longest time after the fact and everything. But anyways, we moved at the end of that school year, so in May, to the house we're in now. But yeah, it's just I know that it shook that couple up, and I know that they're laughing at the fact that there was nobody there, but it's good to remember that something that might have been a mistake to you or funny to you, there's probably people that are actually going through those things. And as for a car being broken into, my family, my mom and dad and brothers and sisters, we were at a cattle show in December a few years ago, and there was this kid that decided to go through and with a baseball bat and just bashed windows of cars. He didn't steal anything, thank goodness, because we had been Christmas shopping. There was tons of gifts and things in the back, but This happened on a Saturday night. We didn't realize until Sunday morning, and my parents weren't able to get somebody to come and fix the glass, so they had to ride, 2 hours home with a trash bag over the window, and it was cold, and so, like, yeah, I guess that's all to say. Just make sure that you're not making light of other people's situations, because you don't know what somebody's going through. We're all going through something. And then more recently, thankfully we haven't dealt with earthquakes in a while. So glad, because those are just, you're not to make a pun, but you're shooken up after they happen. So I'm so grateful that those have not happened in a while. But a thing we did have happen last night, is I guess it was technically this morning. So while we were sleeping, a thing that happens here really frequently, I shouldn't say really frequently, often, is we have what's called brownouts. So just certain parts of the city won't have electricity for a certain amount of time or whatever. This one was not announced. I don't think it was out too long, but I don't know why, but this time when the power went out, it reminded me of my mission trip to Haiti. And I remember in Haiti, we would have a generator until 10, 11 o'clock, and then they would turn it off for the night. And it didn't get overly hot. It was comfortable, but it was weird. I had the thought of, wow, I'm a missionary. This is what being a missionary feels like, or whatever. And not to say that I don't feel like a missionary every day, but a lot of times we get so used to our routine and going about our lives and what we're doing. It's not like I'm thinking every day, oh, I'm a missionary, I'm in a developing country and da-da-da. It's just not something I think about. But I definitely think we too get used to our environment, our situation, and when things are taken away, it gives you a good reality check. But it wasn't bad feelings or anything when the power went out last night. It was just kind of oh, it brought back cool memories. It made me grateful for what we have. We have air conditioning, you can see it right behind me, that we turn on at night. We just keep fans going during the day, and so I can sleep with a blanket. I love to sleep with a blanket, guys. Dan makes fun of me, but I sleep with our comforter, and then I sleep with this fuzzy thing, and it's so comfortable. And I like to be cold so that I have to be warm and snuggly, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's been neat to see how different things have happened and made me think about some things, and have brought some thoughts to mind that I'd forgotten about, and so that's cool. One of the things that happened today, you would have thought I would have learned yesterday, okay? So yesterday I talked about how I was upset because I couldn't find Dan. You would have thought when Thomas and I went to go find Dan, I would have thought to bring my phone. Nope, left it here. So we walked to where they were eating. I did not see him. He was sitting right there, but I didn't see him. I have bad vision. So then we walked to the high school, walked to his classroom, it was locked. Walked back, I didn't see him. So we walked to the elementary teacher's lounge, he wasn't there. Walked back, didn't see him, so I was like, okay, Thomas, let's go check his classroom. Wasn't there. Let's walk upstairs to the teacher's lounge, wasn't there. Looked out, walked out to the bike. The bike was there, but he wasn't there. And so I was like, okay, we are gonna walk, and I'm gonna do the awkward thing and just get really up close to people and just walk and see if I can find him. Yep, he was sitting there eating. It's here's the keys, and I was like, oh, I didn't see you. And so grabbed the keys, went and got Thomas's tablet, returned the keys, and then walked home. Thankfully, I was not upset this time. I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that we weren't in a rush, and so I was like, okay, this is time that Thomas is not sitting on his tablet. We're just walking around. He was being a good little boy and obeying. But yeah, I did find out, though, in some respects, Thomas is shy. So we had gotten his tablet, and I said, here, Thomas, take the keys to Daddy. And he did not want to walk through the tables of students. And I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, I'm going to stay here, and you can go do it. But yeah, that was cute to see. And yeah, Thomas does not have school today, doesn't have school tomorrow. Dan and I have to go in and have a conference with his teacher. It's like a quarterly conference. You get an update on how your child's doing, kind of thing. And then yeah, and then we have a 4-day weekend. Woo-hoo. Teacher's Day on Tuesday though. But yeah, so that's it for today's video. I've had different experiences lately that I guess make me feel more like a missionary, and just give me reminders of things to be grateful for. So I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye. God bless.